Hello students, today you're going to take Cornell notes on ocean pollution. Go ahead and set up your notebook into the Cornell notes style. Cornell notes means that you don't really draw the pictures. You make the questions on the left, summary at the end, and an advanced question. When you've set up your notebook, go ahead and start the video. Are you ready to start? Okay. For number one, write the Great Pacific Ocean Patch. It's a long term. What does it mean? Well, it's a collection of trash in the Pacific Ocean that obviously affects the biomes we've been talking about. This great collection of trash in the ocean, the Pacific Ocean, the one that we go to when you go to the beach, is larger than the whole United States in size. Go ahead and pause the video and come up with a question for number one, or number one I usually provide for you. You can write the question, what is the Great Pacific Ocean Patch? Or where is the Pacific Ocean Patch? In the Pacific, right? Okay, let me show you some pictures. So this is a Great Pacific garbage patch here, and it is in between North America and Japan. And the reason why is because trash that gets thrown into the ocean. So let's say we throw a plastic Doritos bag into the ocean, or you throw it on the ground, it rains and it gets washed into the ocean. Most of the trash, because of the way the ocean water kind of circulates, there's these patterns or currents. A lot of that trash kind of ends up right here in the middle. So here's a barge that's taking all this trash and dumping it in the ocean. Other countries still do this. The US used to do this, but it's illegal now. But other countries follow different rules. And then when that trash gets into the water, of course, it doesn't really decompose if it's plastic. If it's organic matter, let's say a banana peel, in a couple of days it'll rot and it'll decompose. But things that don't decompose, like foam and plastic, just float there, and they will float there for thousands of years. You're like, well, what's the big deal? The big deal is it sometimes catches animals. Animals eat it, and if we eat these kinds of animals, we're eating some of those pollutants and trash. And this is why people that are pregnant, let's say like women that are pregnant, they can't eat certain fishes like tuna because of all the pollution that is in the water that these fish have accumulated. So if you're pregnant, you can't eat fish like tuna or albacore. There's other species that we can't eat anymore, especially if you have sensitivities like when you're pregnant. Okay, once you have that point, go ahead and get ready for number two. Like I mentioned when I was showing you pictures, currently it's illegal to dump trash. In the United States, it's illegal to dump trash in the ocean. But let's see, currently it's illegal to dump trash in the ocean in the United States. Can you add that part? But it is allowed in other countries. Other countries have different rules, like I said. All right, come up with a question for number two. Okay, let's move on to number three. Sludge. If you're like, well, it's illegal in the United States, so I can't really do anything about it because we're not making trash anymore, since we're not throwing in the ocean. Well, kind of are. Let's talk about sludge first. Well, how does it work? Sludge is a mixture of solid and liquid waste that usually runs off from the cities. Cities like Los Angeles and cities within the county of Orange County as well. All the trash that doesn't get recycled, sometimes if it doesn't go into the trash can, but if it's in the ground, sometimes when it rains, it gets washed into the city. Let's look at some pictures. I meant to say from the city into the oceans. For example, let's say you throw a can of Coke into the ground, and instead of throwing it into the trash or recycling it, when it rains, the trash goes and it goes into the local waterways, and then this local waterways wash up into the ocean. Sometimes we try to catch some of this trash with these buoys, and then you see how they're like using a crane to catch some of that trash. But sometimes that trash is too small, or the trash load is just too big, or if it's raining too hard, some of that trash overflows and goes straight into the ocean. So usually the ocean water is so polluted that if you notice, after it rains, if you're listening to the news, sometimes they say you can't swim. That's how bad the runoff is in the sludge. It has so much bacteria that it can affect the water. You can get sick if you go into the ocean when it's raining. And the reason why is all the trash, it goes straight into the ocean. And some of it gets caught, but some of it doesn't. So again, sludge is that greenish mixture you saw of solid and liquid waste. Go ahead and come up with a question for four. All right, let's finish up with number five. Conservation. One thing we can do is use less resources and make less trash to preserve the natural resources that we have on land and, of course, in the ocean, which we've been talking about. Okay, when you're done with number 4, go ahead and come up with your question, and don't forget your summary and your advanced question. All right, move on to the steps below this until it's time to clean up, and then finish the other steps for homework if you didn't finish in class. Have a good day.